clear that there have been instances in the history of this country where our government has gone after our people based upon political means. They have overcharged, and it's not even if they brought charges, reckless investigations, trying to bring the abuse of Justice Department officials or other law enforcement officials against the American people. We can talk about what happened with Michael Flynn, the fact that he was persecuted by this government under the phony Russia collusion scandal, which we all know now is fake and phony. What about him? What about the money he had to put out for his attorneys? What about the anguish on his family? These are the real life situations that do happen to the American people. So what I would say is, let's not cheapen it and weaponize it just because we're trying to make a political point. Let's take a step back and understand that we have to have a federal government and a Department of Justice that looks at the law plainly and clearly and does not weaponize it for political means.
All right, and I wanted to give you a chance to give your perspective here, but just to be clear, this isn't anything I'm doing. I am a vehicle for what people in your own party, the concerns that they're expressing. You have several Republicans on the Senate side, and also you have on the House side concerns coming from them about who could receive this money, including the January 6 rioters. In fact, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche is meeting with some of them because of those concerns. You are a fiscal conservative, and you're running as such for governor of Florida. Is it a fiscally responsible decision for the Trump administration to launch this $1 billion fund when Americans and Floridians in particular are struggling with high gas prices?
Well, you're conflating issues. Number one,
no,
if you want to talk gas prices, yes, you are. If
I am not conflating issues. I'm a vehicle for the concerns that come from everyday Americans.
Let's be very clear about gas prices. The reason why oil prices are high on the world market is because the Iranian regime, once again, a theocratic dictatorship, is wanting to force the strait close because they would rather foment terror and have nuclear weapons, and they want to put pressure on the West through oil prices. That's why gas prices are high. That's not because of economic policy in the United States. That's because of the Iranian regime's death grip on power. That's a very different situation than the funds you want to talk about.
And then the Iranians shut down the Strait of Hormuz. That is an accurate statement.
You just said what I just said. The Iranians shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Why did they do that? They shut it down because they are trying to inflict economic pain on the rest of the world, because they would rather have a nuclear weapon. They would rather put those nuclear weapons on the tips of their ballistic missile systems, which, by the way, they lied to the world. Those ballistic missile systems can go 4,000 kilometers, reaching our allies in Europe, reaching American bases overseas. And they are so hell-bent on having that, they would rather inflict pain on the world when it